The iron farm produces 7,100 iron per hour. It has 6 spawning cells on each layer. This allows 6 iron golems to spawn every 39 to 40 seconds. The reason for this time is because it gives the villagers extra time to sync up their spawning times and also lets them reset it. The reset timer is usually around 30, but I put the extra time on there to help sync up everything. I'll get into more detail about how the farm works. I also talked about how iron golem farms work in my past iron farm video, but I'll do a quick recap for you. And if you wish to skip the recap, I'll put a timestamp on the screen and in the video description. Each layer has 6 spawning cells with 3 beds and 3 villagers. The reason for 3 villagers is because that is the smallest pack size for iron golem spawning. Each spawning cell is placed about 10 blocks or more apart. That is the minimum range for each cell to count as its own village, thus allowing each cell to spawn an iron golem. The requirements for spawning an iron golem are: they have slept within 2 Minecraft days, they are scared/damaged by a hostile mob in that mob's range. Zombies have a scare range of 8 blocks, Vindicators have a range of 10 blocks, and Pillagers have a range of 15. The villagers have to be within that range and have eye contact with the mob that is scaring them. The reason we don't use skeletons or other ranged hostile mobs is that they can damage villagers. But how am I using pillagers even though they spawn with crossbows and sometimes even enchanted crossbows? Well, let me show you. To pacify a pillager, all you need is this setup of any kind of containment with blocks and 6 snow layers. And of course you need a pillager, and you're also going to need a spare villager. So what you need to do is make these cells, put the 6 snow layers just like that, throw down your pillager, he's all angry like, put down your villager, and he will be undistracted by me, and shoot at the villager. And you also don't want to forget to make sure if you accidentally leave the area or he just despawns, go ahead and throw a name tag on him so he won't despawn. I did not come up with this design of how to decrossbow pillagers. That was done by Reddit user Biggest Thick Boy. I'll leave his Reddit post down in the video description. If I do believe this is gonna take a few minutes, so of course you can AFK or do other things in the area while the pillager and villager are loaded. A quick tip for getting pillagers and everything you need to depacify them. A good way to get them is when you have your villager breeder. You can either wait for patrolmen, you can capture them and do the same trick I just showed you in the last clip. Or you can, of course, go to a pillager outpost and kidnap them and, of course, do the same process. There are some advantages to having a pillager over a zombie. Zombies do take less effort to capture and get set up, but they do burn in sunlight. So it makes it very hard to stack them up. You have to make sure that they're protected either with a mob head like a wither skull or skeleton, any kind of skull or whatever, any head that they can wear. And they have to, of course, be named. With the pillager, you just need they do require more effort. You have to decrossbow them and name them, but they don't burn and they have a larger range. So if this was a normal zombie farm, we would actually need 1, 2, 3 zombies in each of these crosswalks or cross paths or whatever. So it saves you more time just to have one of these, and it's less redstone. Another thing I wanted to go over is some common issues people had and some common fixes I made that help the farm be built better and also more understanding for everyone. One of the issues, or one of the questions I had was, why are we using redstone and why not just have the pillager constantly scaring them? Well, the reason is because if they're constantly scared, the villagers will get out of sync and it won't let the iron golems spawn. Since iron golems do have to be 30 blocks out of range of the villager, if there's one spawning and another one tries to spawn one, well, it can't because it's within the 30 block range. But if they all spawn at the same time, of course you get all your iron golems, which is easily done by redstone. This is a very simple hopper clock, sorry. And this just powers up the pillagers and scares them all at the same time. And since we're only using pistons and slime blocks, it allows the signal to travel instantly to every single layer. Another common problem that I saw was that people said that the villagers weren't sleeping, and that I even replied by saying just replace the beds or replace the workstations. In 1.16, that changes because villagers no longer require a workstation to spawn iron golems. Also, to replace the beds, I've added these trapdoors so that it holds the villagers in even when you're trying to remove blocks around it. So now you can remove the bed and replace it, and they'll be like, oh, everything's fine. It resets their AI. It's a common fix. That's what the common fix was in 1.15. I don't know if it's common fix now, but I saw that it works. I also wanted to say that villagers do have to sleep. They do have. So if I set time to cannot type today. Midnight. They will go ahead and sleep. As you can see, they all sleep. They do have to sleep for a whole night. So before you start your hopper clock, I suggest letting your villagers sleep and go through a whole day Minecraft day. So if we set this back today, so it's better for recording. You see they all pop up right back in their cell. You can see there is some redstone there. That is to stop zombies and any other mob to spawn, and it also stops. It already stops iron golems because it's glass in the bottom. It also disables the villager AI, so they're not, jiggling around. As you can see, this time I added a stop and start switch just right here, right on the side of the farm, to make it easier to turn on and off the farm and keep everything nice and safe. Because you used to have to remove a piece of redstone in the old farm to get everything to work. I'm not doing like without the slime blocks because I realized that slime blocks are one of the easier materials to get. But by the time you have most of these like materials in bulk to get the glass or walls or whatever, we'll go through all the other stuff you want to place this. But the slime blocks are really easy, and I made the hopper clock be able to be stopped. I just quickly wanted to show you a visual representation of the villager, how the villager system works, and the village itself. So I have a villager there. He doesn't have a bed right now. I know I should have given him one, but he should have a bed to count as a village. He would be there, so that would be his village right there. That's him. That's his village. It's an average of where all the villagers are in their bed, and it puts it in the center. That's how you find out where villager's village is, but if you have those tiny cells, you know exactly where it's at. So, another village has to be exactly 10 blocks or more away. If not, then they'll merge together and it'll cause desync issues, and they would only be spawning one golem for the 6 villagers you have instead of 3. So that's your 10 block range, and then that's what the sphere is showing there. 10 block is like, hey, this is my village, don't interfere. Which is exactly why those are spaced out like this. This yellow glass is exactly how far an iron golem has to be away before that village will stop noticing that iron golem and it'll continue to spawn more. So the moment an iron golem falls out of the 30 block range, it'll be like, okay, I don't have an iron golem, I can spawn one now. That's basically it. It's just like my old video. I'll link that down in the description if you wanted more in depth. I went a little bit more in detail, but just a quick little overview on how villager spawning and iron golem spawning all worked. Alrighty, welcome to the building section of the Iron Hyperion. So in the next clip, I'm going to talk about the building process, what you're going to need, and I also have a world download and schematics down in the description. So let's go ahead and jump to that part. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into the build tutorial. I have the schematica all loaded up. The material list will be down in the description, but I'll go ahead and show you it. Load schematica, and then material list. This is the material list. Again, let's go ahead and go through all the items that can be replaced and replacement items, all that. So you can replace the white concrete with any building block, like cobble, anything that's a solid block. You're also going to need some type of glass pane. I suggest glass panes. It could be walls. It could be any kind of wall. But I do suggest glass panes because it does make it easier to work. Not easier to work with, but easier to for the iron golems to go through. You're also going to need, of course, 2 buckets of water. Don't worry about the 369 water. But you're also going to need 253 oak fence. I'm gonna quit saying and go through here. Slab could be any kind of slab, any kind of trapdoor. Again, these 2 glasses, you do need the glass blocks for these, but they don't have to be gray and white. They could just be regular, both glass. Those combined together, which is about like 169. Yep, 169. You're gonna need any kind of pressure plate. You're gonna need at least 72 beds, any color, doesn't matter. You don't need the packed ice, but it is nice to help move the items quicker. You're only gonna need, you don't need 37 lava. You're actually gonna only need, because lava can spread the first block and then 3 out, so it can cover 5 blocks. So, and this is 39 long, I believe, or 37. So it's not going to take that. Yeah, 37, my bad. It is 37. And then any kind of wall, I use the blackstone to prove that I'm in 1.16. And slime blocks can be replaced with honey blocks. And you are going to need the glazed terracotta so that the slime blocks don't stick to the actual piston where it pushes up the villagers. Any kind of sign also will work. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and begin this building tutorial. First, you're going to go to your lowest layer you like to build this. It could be built underground, like all the way down at level 5. This right here could be your level 5, but you would have to move the items up to put your sorter and whatnot. But put down wherever you want the lowest to go. If you're using back dice, let's go ahead and take this all the way out, 37. So let's take this all the way back. Alright, now we have the back all the way back. Let's go ahead and take our white concrete. Again, you do not have to fill in the corners. You could also do it like this. But just like this, you could just do this on the sides if you wanted to save some blocks. But if you have the blocks and the time, might as well, right? Go ahead and do it. So I'm going to do this with World Edit real quick. So that will set that. All the way down here. Alrighty, now you're gonna have that channel done. Now it's time to build the big rectangle. So I'm gonna take this concrete all the way out. We're gonna go from the middle, from this block. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Actually, I could just count it. I don't have to count it. It's actually 16. So from the middle block, you would move out 16. So middle block, and then you would count 16 out this way to the left and right of your farm. Doesn't matter which orientation it's at. But now that we have this, you're going to want to take this all the way back. I'll get a number for you real quickly. Let me go ahead and take this all the way back for y'all. You're going to want to take this 39 blocks. I was right. It was 39. And then you just need to fill in this floor, basically. But you need to leave a middle shaft right here for the water streams. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. This bottom floor. Alrighty. And then I'm going to come back in with just break this last layer of concrete out for the water streams. Oopsie. Alrighty, now that that's all set up, you have your giant thing. Now we need to go ahead and how is there slime? I'm so confused. Whatever. So you want to go ahead and take from that surface up, and you go 3 up, and then you're also going to need a slab. So you're going to take your concrete all the way around, just like so. Why is there slimes? One just spawned in the wall. That's funny. Alright, so go ahead and take that all the way around. So it's going to be technically a 3 high wall, but from the base it's 4. And then you're going to want to take your smooth stone slabs, and you're going to take them all the way around the rim so that mobs cannot spawn. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and finish this in World Edit real quick while y'all are here. I'm sure not going to do some jump cuts so you can see exactly what I'm doing, and you won't get confused. What is confusing me is the slimes. I'm also going to go and put the time set day. Let's go ahead and throw this into peaceful for right now, so that we don't have things spawning on us. Alright. Oh. I accidentally said it's a day twice. There we go. That's right. So let's go ahead and grab our water buckets. Of course, you're only going to need 2 water to make an infinite source, which should be easy. And then, of course, we're going to need our stone slabs. Let me go ahead and grab my gray glass. This is what I like to use when I'm doing World Edit. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your water and you're going to run it all the way down on both sides. Just like... Oops, that's not right. Set water. There we go. And it should flow. And it should stop right there. And we're using these pressure plates here so that iron golems can be pushed over because they're too wide. They pretty thick. So set stone pressure plates. There, that's good. And then we're going to take our glass again. And then we're going to put water on this side of the stone pressure plates. So it's going to mix right there perfectly. So we're going to do this on this side too. So water again, all the way on the back. And of course you can do the trick of taking your water, going here, and then you can pull from this middle one and go all the way down with it. And then we're going to take stone pressure plates again. And then you're going to place your second line of water behind the stone pressure plates. Or in front, I guess. That's not right. There we go. Now let's go ahead and take your walls. And you're going to find the middle block. And you're going to take them all the way down. So, fly over there. Again, it could be any type of wall, cobble, whatever suits your needs. And then we're going to take these stone slabs up on the top so that the trapdoors don't catch on fire. Just like that. And do it on both sides. Down where the lava is the center of the blocks. Just like that. So then you're also going to take your trapdoors and place them on the top of those stone slabs, which makes it really easy. See, watch, you just do that. Bam. So you're going to take this. Oopsie, that's the wrong thing. I don't have my gray glass. And then we're going to do set. Of course, you're going to have to place each one of those in survival. But to save me and you time, I'm going to do set. What are those called? Yeah, dark. Okay. Again, this could be any kind of trapdoor. But I like dark oak because I'm weird. So we're going to do that on both sides of those slabs, under the slabs. Just like that. And then we're going to take our lava. Like I said, you don't have to do solid lava, which you can do. Oop, achievements, cool. What you can do is go 1, 2, 3, then place your lava. Oopsie, you got to hold shift, that's right. As you see, it will flow to here, and to here. And that's enough to kill them. But since I have world edit and it's faster, instead of counting it out, what I do is I just go ahead and I set lava. Uh-oh, my cat's getting everywhere. Hold on, let me get that fixed real quick. Alrighty, cat distractions all gone, so now we have that lava there. The next important part is to see that the water is clumped up right here. This is where those gates come in handy, because it allows items and entities to pass through, but not anything else, of course, because the iron golems can't fit through that. So, all right, and of course you're going to make sure that these are all open. That is the key to make sure that this is right. So now that you have your pad where everything's at, let's go ahead and go to the side where everyone should see the items to go through. So we're going to break this block temporarily. And you're going to want to take your signs now with your water, if I can find it. Just like this. Go all the way down this thing. You should be perfectly safe. I also do suggest placing lava last so you don't die. So then you take your water. It should go out 8 blocks. Then you want to put a top slab. Then your sign. Then your water on top of that sign, which will push all the way back over. And so if items fall on top of this thing, they'll still get pushed over by the water. So again, top slab, sign, and then water. And this should take you all the way out to 8 blocks again. And this last one right here. Of course, this is going to overflow because, well, that's how things work right now. I'm just going to put gray glass knowing that that is temporary. Of course, this is where you would take your items out into a sorter and bring them up if you have all the way down at Y5. Or you can put this on the surface. You can also stack more layers. But now it becomes the fun part, if you will. So we're going to go up 33, I believe, but I can double check that. Let's go ahead and pillar up and find out exactly where you... Oop, that's too high. I would probably start at the redstone layer, so right below that. So you're going to go up You're going to go up 26 from those slabs. And then you're going to want to bridge all the way to the redstone. Oopsie. Right there. We're at the redstone now, which is where that glass block is from where you pillared up is exactly 25. So 26 up, 25 over. Now that we have our glass, you want to go ahead and put down an actual solid block, not glass, right there. And then we're going to put another block like that. And of course, you can use dirt for your building materials. I'm just using this gray glass because, well, I'm in creative. And of course, you want to stick your comparators facing each other way like this. And then you want to take your redstone, put it on top. And then your 2 sticky pistons will go... Uh-oh, that's not where that's supposed to go. Oh, I didn't grab a sticky piston. That might help. There we go. And then do the same thing like that. Make sure you place it right. I have all these hitboxes, so it makes it quite hard to do. And then get your hoppers going by simply doing this. And then pointing them into each... Oh, man, I'm having a hard time placing today. Like that. So, and then put your redstone dust or redstone block right there. That'll get you basically set up. Let's go ahead and put down that block here. And this is where the on and off switch go. Right there. And then put your glass on top of the block so things can't spawn. And of course, put your glass on top of as many blocks as you can so that they don't spawn. And inside the hopper clock, you're going to want to get 50 items. That's right, 50. I've done a lot of testing. And that is what we got so far. That makes it work the fastest and the best. So, you also want to go ahead and take your other sticky pistons. Oh man, it really likes deleting my glass. That's no fun. Take your sticky piston up from that hopper that is locked. And then when you want to take your slime box up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then put your redstone block. That starts up your next layer. Of course, you do not have to build this pillar if you're not wanting to do other layers. You can go ahead and just do one layer at a time, and then you don't need to worry about this. But let's go ahead and push over to the next, so that way we're just doing one layer at a time. So you're going to put a block right next to that, put your redstone there, then you're going to take your sticky piston skin, push that out, and then, of course, another redstone block, which will go there. Then there's this block gap with your sticky piston facing upwards. Of course, remember to cover this with glass. Very important, because iron golems will spawn there and kill your pillager and or what are the villagers doing? I don't know what they're doing, but oh, it's because they're the fake villagers. See, they're not real. That's so weird. Alright, so yeah, you just want to make sure you put that glass on top of that. So once you have your sticky piston, you want to go up with that one glass so it's standing on a block. And then you're going to want to build a basic cell for your pillager. Then we're going to take our trapdoors. Oopsie, that's not what I meant to do. And put them around the rim. Just like that. And then you could, of course, make sure that the block above him is glass so iron golems can't spawn. That's just so he can't escape. Now that that's all set up, you should have a working clock that runs on every 39 to 40 seconds. And let's go ahead and move on to the next part. Now that this is all in place, you can go from where the villager is standing. Let me grab my gray glass. And then we're going to go out 1 and then 2. And this is where the permanent gray glass or any type of glass will go. We'll go 2 here. And then 2 on the side, right under the beds. That's how I'm marking where the beds are for the player. And then your white glass or any kind of glass block there. And then your redstone on top of that. Now let's grab our beds like that. And that will get them all tidied up. And then, of course, we're going to get another trapdoor. Let me go ahead and grab... I'm tired of holding all this junk. You want to shift-click on top of the pillows, just like that, to get that like that. And then you're one to go out 1 and then up 2 on the back. That is how your cells are set up. And the good way to do is just have to put the villagers in the cells. Let me see if I can That's not it. MC. Go ahead and turn that off real quick. So the best way to drop the villagers in is by taking, of course, we use our gray glass to work on that. Make a little hole for them. Then bring them out wherever they're coming from or whatever. And then you want to take some blocks just like this. And then you want to grab a rail and a minecart and then a villager. And then run your villager on top of the minecart. Get them in the minecart, push them, it'll capture them. They'll go down the hole, give them a little nudge. And then with a pickaxe, let's go ahead and grab one. Because the pickaxe breaks the minecart instantly. Hit F3B if you're on Java Edition. I do believe this does work for other editions, but I'm not 100% sure. You just make sure you're not clipping him. Press it, and that will break the minecart, and he'll be stuck in place. And you need 3 villagers per cell. Alrighty, so you're gonna go to the other side of the pillager on the west and east side, depending on just the left and right of this farm. And we're gonna go out 2, and then 2 are your permanent, and then the 5th one is the block your villagers will stand on permanently. Let's go ahead and finish off the cell, just like we did on the other side. Add your 3 beds. Trapdoors, you shift click onto the pillow, just like that. Go over to the back, and then put your glass blocks there. And let's not forget your redstone. And bam, just like that. Once you got the cell down, it's actually pretty easy. And of course, your 3 villagers, just like that. Now, for these other cells, you want to go out from this where this block is. 2. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out. And then, of course, you want to go 1, 2, 3, and then 2 permanent, and then the last one permanent also. And these, you can also have the scaffolding going both ways. So again, 2 permanent, and then your 3rd one is also permanent. And of course, you can destroy your scaffolding, just like that. Then you want to finish out your spawning pods, or cells, as I like to call them. Repeat this again. Remember, shift click on the pillows to get that done. Don't forget, see, did I place the bed in the wrong spot? I did. Like that. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's better. Sorry. Placed on the wrong spot. And of course, your 2 back blocks so they don't come out. And don't forget your redstone. That is how you build each cell. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out all these cells. So you repeat the process mirroring on this side too. Real quickly, you go from over here. It will be, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 again. And then, of course, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 permanent, and then 1 extra permanent. Just make sure you got the block count right. Alrighty, real quick, I also want to say before you put your villages in, I do suggest building the whole farm and exactly which one. And then before you put your villagers in, you put your pillager. Oh, I gotta put it off easy now. I mean off peaceful. And you put your pillagers in first. You do not want iron golem spawning, trust me, right now while you're building it. So once the whole farm is built, then put your pillagers, then your villagers. Alrighty, this is what your cell should look like on your first layer. Make sure that you have all your redstone and your beds all nice and tidy, and that everything is nice and far apart, or 10 blocks apart. I'll go ahead and give you a count off from where you should be, but we're about to do that whenever we start the next part. So what you want to do is put your permanent building block on top of the glass, just like this. And then your glowstone right above the villagers. This allows, it doesn't have to be glowstone, it could be sea lanterns. Just like that. So that they have light just to prevent any spawns, and it makes the spawning pads look nice. So you want to go 2 out on both sides of the glowstone, just like this. And I had spawning platforms that were only that big and didn't go all the way across. But at the amount of effort you were putting in, you might as well go all the way across. And it actually decreased the rates when we had just the 5x5 spawning platforms. So once you get your 2 sections off, it basically lines out what exactly you need to do next. Let's go ahead and pull up the Lightmatica mod once again to show you. With the water, it's kind of hard to see. But you can see now that this is where... This is the pads. You would go ahead and do your full pads just like this. I'm going to use World Edit to help. / replace air with white concrete. Just like that. And that will fill in everything for me. Next is you'll have this nice palette. Go turn off the Schematica for you real quick. Just like this. And then you should do this on both sides. So let's go ahead and get that done. Alrighty, so I know how to build it. I just want to make sure that y'all have references because the Schematica mod does make it easier to see. And I do suggest using it. I wanted to talk about a quick way of how to get the glass where it needs to be on the edges. So what I like to do is build up like this. And then put the building, like a temporary building block, exactly where I want it. Just like this. And wrap around. You don't need the corners. And you only need to go to the edges. And of course it needs to be 3 tall. It prevents the iron golems from stepping on the sides. So I've tried 2, I've tried 1. 3 is definitely the way to go. Just like that. So that will give you the placement block. So all you need to do now is, as you're going along, just break and place, just like this. And once you're like these, you could do it like that, or you could try to place it on that, but just going along like this. That is the best way I found to place that glass. I'm going to go into World Edit real quick, and I'm going to replace gray stained glass with white stained glass panes. Just like that. And now you should have something that looks like this. It doesn't have to be white. It does need to be panes or walls, but I do suggest panes. Next, the next important part we need is the fence gates. I did not mean to get rid of my whatever. So you're going to place your temporary block here. And then you're going to want to run your fence gates all the way down, just like this, by shift clicking. You could be standing right here and just going along just like that. But since to save time and effort... Alrighty, I accidentally made a mistake while recording. Instead of just being exactly 5 over, you need to put glass panes or iron bars. Has to be one of those 2. That's something you cannot sub out. And then you also need to bring out your glass panes 1 more. And then put your trap doors, or not your trap doors, your fence gates open. Right there. Just like that. Sorry about that, folks. Alrighty, as you can see, of course they're orange because they're facing the wrong way, but that's fine. So now we want to get started on our second layer. So you want to, after that redstone block, you're going to put your terracotta right there. And then you want to put your redstone there. And then you want to take your sticky piston pointing off that. Then your redstone block after that. A gap block. Then your sticky piston facing up. Just like that. Destroy that, and that's right. Don't forget to put your glass on top. And then right above here, I suggest putting transparent block, and then another slime. And of course, on top of the sticky piston right here, you put glass. Just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and build the other layers. So that's a good way to distance yourself, because you know that's where you, after you build up here, you build your cell, just like this. You build your pillager cell. Break that, and then go ahead and space out your buildings just like that off, just like the previous layer. So I'm going to go ahead and do all 4 layers, and then I'll get right back with you. Alrighty, that about does it. If you have, you can also build up as many layers as you want, as I said before. Yeah, this is basically it. So let's go ahead and set it to time set midnight. Let me go ahead and schematic placements off just like that. So it's nice and in. So it's nice. You want to make sure every single one of your villagers are sleeping, like I said before, just like that. And of course, we have our pillagers named correctly, just as they should be. Named them anything. Doesn't have to be that, but I don't know. That's just what came to mind whenever I was doing it all. But remember, you have to put glass as on many things that are spawnable. Redstone blocks and pistons are spawnable, and slime blocks, if you did not know. Maybe not slime blocks, but for iron golems it is. So let's go ahead and time set day. And then let's turn off the farm. You see they all hopped back in their cells, so turn on the farm. And you will get some iron golems spawning naturally throughout the days, just because that's how villagers work. Just sharing gossip is another way of iron golems spawning. So we're gonna tick warp it to make sure. So, and as you can see, once they get all synced up, you'll start to get your iron pouring out. And this is the Iron Hyperion. Hello, welcome to the end of the video. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I did spend a lot of time making this. I also made this while sick, right at the end of when my voice actually started sounding not sick-like. But if you leave a like, if you subscribe, that would mean so much to me. Thank you for watching. CrazyZane, out.